I'd like to address the cosmology and stated goals of Scientology. Ron Hubbard studied Eastern and Western mystic traditions. Through personal exploration, using the methods provided by these traditions, he discovered a number of things about his own mind and the nature of consciousness that are really quite useful. There is some truth in the mind's power to improve not only one's disposition, but one's physical health to varying degrees. There may even be some truth to the claim that what he calls thetans originate outside of what he calls the MEST universe, given that the few explanations of quantum inseparability principle offered by the scientific community seem to imply non-local consciousness. Many religions propose exactly these things. Hubbard's MEST universe is the Samsara of Hinduism, the Maya of Buddhism, the manifest representation of an unmanifest God in the Abrahamic traditions. Hubbard does not suggest anything particularly new outside of the OT3 story, but even that mirrors a process seen in many other places. To put it simply, the following is a common method of attempting to produce enlightenment. Quit this world, quit the next, quit quitting. That is, leave the assumptions of your normal life behind, then leave the new assumptions you've gained from your modified perspective behind. In this way, we cease to take worldviews for granted. That is, we are no longer under the false impression that we have the direct and necessarily accurate information regarding anything outside of our own minds. In this way, we can quit quitting, or have no solid worldview left to quit. The OT3 story necessarily seems incredibly foolish, because it must be different enough from the original worldview to be distinct, but somewhat flimsy and thus easily quit. Aleister Crowley, whose works Hubbard read, suggests that one should pick a god from any pantheon and invoke that god day and night until a profound spiritual experience occurs. As soon as this happens, Crowley says to stop dealing with that deity entirely and pick a new one from a different pantheon to start again with. This is repeated over and over again, producing the worldview-shattering results described previously. The goal of clearing the planet is essentially a rewording of the great work of Western occultism. The great work is that of bringing about universal enlightenment. This may very well be the most noble possible cause, as a world that sees clearly is much better than the blind chaos we deal with on a daily basis. However, it is important to remember that no one has a monopoly on enlightenment. If it were impossible for people to discover it on their own, there wouldn't be enlightenment traditions. Any personal experience had by L. Ron Hubbard can be had by anyone else with the right mindset. Anything that Scientology can do can also be done by any of the other mystic traditions created by people who've discovered the same things. For that matter, even within Scientology, one has to have maths in order to reach an understanding of a thing. That means spiritual matters can only be explored and understood properly using spiritual experiences. In order to actually understand and utilize the material, one has to go through everything Hubbard went through, proving that it is possible to do so. If this information is freely available to every human being via his own consciousness, and also distributed freely by the other spiritual traditions that have stumbled across it, why would anyone charge for it? If the goal is really to clear the planet, why restrict information? Wouldn't it be much more efficient to distribute free copies of Dianetics, such as many Christian organizations do with their Bible? For that matter, why would they copyright it? If this information is really vital to the future of our people, and all the organization wants to do is heal everyone, why do their actions work to prevent the free distribution of this information? It should be clear to auditors that PCs are being sacrificed for stats. Hubbard warned against the sort of quickie auditing that is causing this phenomenon. Stats are down. New PL coming down from flag is off-source and has nothing to do with clearing anyone. Every moment that you don't speak against this, the situation degrades. It is clear that the organization is not interested in clearing the planet, but in filling their pockets. It is the duty of auditors to reform the organization or distance themselves from it. To do otherwise is not only out ethics, but a high crime. To those of you who want to clear the planet, my tradition is not your tradition, but we do share a goal. To ignore the disregard for this cause demonstrated by your superiors is to allow yourself to sink further into sleep, to become more distant and cluttered. Not only that, but it allows them to draw more individuals into a profitable slumber. This works against the very forces you want to contribute to. If universal freedom from illusion and suffering is actually what you seek, then explore without fear. Learn the truth about the organization for yourself. Learn the truth about the free zone for yourself. Don't let anyone, not even anonymous, dictate your thought. Remember, enlightenment is free.